blastmusic247.com. We're changing the industry one artist at a time.
Hello, and welcome to Sanctuary Experience Master. I am not in my mastermind. How about we are in Metamorphosis 365, but I'd be doing a lot. So how about that? Hey, y'all. Welcome. I am excited to come to you tonight. Did have intentions on hosting Tiffany Countryman, who is awesome. Had to reschedule. So please do keep her in mind because she's coming to have a great conversation. If you haven't heard of who she is an award-winning playwright, and deeper than that, she is human. So I know that it's going to be a great conversation. So let's go back to the beginning. Thank you, Blast Music 247, for this opportunity to come and speak to your listeners. Thank you all of my family who joins in and takes advantage of the learning and shares it. You guys are freaking awesome and you rock. Sunshine Cromwell, who is also incredible, and again, the connect. She is truly the connect. We're going to talk about her a little bit later on today, but first things first. So since Tiff could not make it, I figured we could have a good conversation. And what I love to talk about, I'm getting comments, is 12 laws. Hey, Scott. Hey, Miss Fran. I just learned something new right now. This is great. I am learning my podcast journey, I promise you, and it's awesome. Thank you so much to Troy, the VP of Blast, because he is the adult behind the grown folk that I get to do. So I really am grateful, and we got to start it off with thank yous, right? Thank you for all y'all guys do. So again, y'all, I figured today would be a great day to have a conversation about the law, right? We understand law and what we're reared in, how we're trained, right? We have the laws of the home. That's kind of our first initiation to what rule, law, order, and chaos are. And I think chaos may come naturally when we're children getting into stuff. But we learn the rule and the order of the house, right? Parents lay that law down. Boom, boom, boom. Mom, dad, granny, foster parents, whoever you have that reared you, they laid them laws down, right? Okay, let's move on into education systems. You learn the law and rule and order there. Let's move on into life, the police, the 12, the government. You know, we understand the world is a system of rules, laws, and order, right? And there's a lot of training immediately about what will be accepted and what won't be accepted. And then here's what I got to thinking about. How early did we begin our inner training, our spirit training? We do so much focus on the external, world and how to navigate it, how to manage and thrive, right? And for some folks, just survive it. We do a lot of that type of training, but how often do we take time to look at the inner laws, the laws that are all around us spiritually, the ones that hang out in the ethers and have wonderful conversations with us, whether we're listening or not? So I definitely want to get to that conversation today while I reach over here and do things behind me because I forgot. There we go. Gonna listen to that sound because I'm hearing great things. We're not gonna be distracted. We're gonna pay attention. All right. So we have all this access to AI, right? And it's wonderful. And at the same time, where's the humanity? Like, you're still dealing with a whole bunch of data, and it's drawing data from people all over. And I wondered just how well, how firm they were in gathering information and how accurate it is. I'm gonna hit the in my opinion button, right? And in my experience. So in my opinion and in my experience, do understand that that's the conversation we're having from my POV. Okay. And I'm sure some other folks gonna have something to say. Go right ahead, be my guest, say as you please. And then same time, listen, receive, because these are my expectations of you. Listen, receive, and communicate with me. Let me know what your thoughts are and what your experiences are. Right there in that comment space, got room to clickety. And then you know how to reach me. Look at the video outro. All my info is there. We can connect. Let's jump into this first law. So I thought it interesting. The first law, the law of divine oneness. This was the data scrape. The law of divine oneness. Everything in the universe is connected and part of a single whole. Okay. I do understand that some people care to argue that thought. They are very much interested in being individual. Just me. My favorite extreme of that thought is the self-made people. I'm a self-made, you fill in the blank. Really? That's kind of interesting. And it stands clearly opposed to the thought of everything being connected, right? So that's from the data scrape. Now, what I'm gonna do tonight, I don't share this. It's mine, and my people's, okay? The folks that I coach and that I tend to on the regular. This is where the wisdom I'm about to share with you pours out. And this was given to me by my grandma, and I told y'all, it is the thing when you're a kid and you're in a house and you are learning the law and rule and order. I was fortunate. Enough to have parents who were spiritual, not folks just who went to church. That's a different thing. And if you feel shot at, it's not personal. This is just true. Going to church doesn't make you spiritual. It makes you present, right? You're exposed and you're able to hear some things and feel some things and engage, and that is beautiful. So I'm not taking anything away from that because I couldn't. That is your personal experience. And what I will also say is there is more, way more. All right. So in the spirit of sharing, I'm going to share with you guys some of the 12 laws of the universe according to our elders and ancestors. Law number 1 is the law of creation. And I offer you both kind of like side by side. Law number 1 is the law of creation. That is the actual law of creation. And then I'll show you the data scrape on the law of divine oneness. Okay. We all have to start somewhere, but it's interesting where the starting blocks are lined up. If you come into the beginning of your journey of understanding the laws, and your first law is the law of divine oneness, that everything is connected to the single part of the whole, you done missed a step. Okay. And it's you missed a step. I can't say it kindly, period. You done missed a step, because we need to fall back into the law of creation. Okay. There could be no oneness if we did not stop first and tend to the law of creation. It is a rule. When we look around, like for those of us who are fortunate to have sight, because I am aware that some folks don't, but for those of us who are, when you look around, everything that you see is steeped in creation. And we'll break down a little bit of that creation walk, because I'm not doing a TED Talk today. I'm not doing a whole class on it. If you want to reach and experience that class, tap in with me, but at least understand the thoughts are thought toward you. Okay. We're talking about creation. The thoughts are thought toward you. Think about that for a minute. Everything that comes to mind didn't necessarily come from you. And then here's another thought, a little step further into that creation thought. Once we receive the thought and we get to adding our energy and thinking it, which is truly action taking, right? We're thinking that thing. We're laying layer and layer of frequency and energy and weight on that bad boy and bringing it into this physical manifestation. Okay, so that's just a cheat code to understand we are creators. And those are the thoughts that are thought toward us, right? Those are the ones that we receive, and then that we lay flesh, bone, marrow, and the rest of it and manifest it into presence. And then there are the ones that we construct that come with a weight, baby, and you continue to add on and build on and take action and manifest those things into life. So law number one is truly the law of creation. There's so much I could say. There's many folks, let's go ahead and poke the bear. Let's have some fun. Start some mess. So a lot of folks call God, this, oh God, oh God, oh God. That ain't God's name. There's so many that is referred to by the attributes if we're speaking from a Christian perspective, right? Elohim, creator. There were many creators, many banners, many wearing the Elohim name, right? Or title, right? Or designation, or however you want to call it, attribute. And it's interesting to me when I hear so many people, I don't care whether it is folks who ride the Christian umbrella, Muslim umbrella, Hebrew, Jewish umbrella, all these folks that have all these lovely umbrellas that they use to be right, so to speak, like no one else could be right. This is my way or the highway, and no one else has gotten it right in a millennia of a dinosaur millennia. Nah. It's interesting. And for those who really are interested in the laws of the universe, when you take yourselves and you begin to study and look into that thing, not just being lazy about it. Like, it's one thing to do something, and I don't know about y'all, it's irksome as hell to me. It's one thing to do something, and there's another to do it well. To do it well when you take it seriously. So that thing shows up, but we're not going to deviate. We're going to stay on the topic. And I will simply say, okay, you got some truth. I got some truth. Well, let's get together and share our truths and share it in a manner that helps to build, because that is what creation does. It builds. Now, we could have a poll conversation about deconstruction, but we're not going to have that conversation today. Maybe another time. But I definitely want to take some bits and lean into that thought. Hey, Logan, how are you? Ooh. I'm reading that quick. And it's not a thing. Like, there's no one that is self-made. I appreciate that. Because you've had all the help in the world. You do not initiate the majority of the things that you have hands in and walk in today. The bed you sleep in, i.e. the floor you walk on, the cars you drive, the electricity we enjoy, the Wi-Fi we suck up, the cell phones that give us all kind of angst and issues in our bodies. However, all a part of the creation process. And I'm laboring in the point to give you enough time to really think, to think this through and find your, and I call it life GPS, like your location in life GPS. Where is your location in life GPS? Where do you sit in that understanding of that initial law, the law of creation? It tells us so much. Like, it's such a rich law. There's so many ways to receive it, right? And even from the understanding of it being a law, it's something to do, to adhere to engage in, right? To understand, to break apart, to chew on. And when it comes to creation, I really believe by it being set as a law, it is for us to take action on it. We are to be creating. And then I will say that, like any law, it has its challenges, right? You have your shadow side of anything, okay? And I would say that a lot of the symptoms of not creating, for those who have lost their spark or their energy to create, their ability to readily create, because I believe we're always creating, but readily create what we like to see. I really believe it's based in a lot of the distractions, a lot of the electrical interruptions, a lot of the television, a lot of the running around, a lot of the turning off the mind to do mindless things, right? Don't use it. It's going to sit right on over there and wait for you to Start using it. And then when you begin to use it again, guess what you got to do? Got to build your muscle. Got to build that muscle. So I encourage you to take it seriously. Don't take my word. That's pointless. Take it seriously instead and go research it. And when you find out that that's actually the case, you know what I mean? That is primary. Definitely come back, say something to me. Let me know. Hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, wherever, and say, hey, you know what? I listened to that. I took time. I sat in it, and this is what came to me. Now, you know what I'm gonna say. The same thing I say every time. Meditate on it. Take some time and really sit with it, and let your spirit, let the God in you, let the Creator in you take a hold of it and make meaning for your life. Because that's the whole point of this. We get together Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here, to grow. Like, this is your growth moment. This is that one time of the week where it's like, you know what? I done did everything else during the week. I done had my playtime, my work time, my sleep time, my bathroom time, my trick off time. Now I need to have some growth. Let this be your growth time. Okay, so I'll see you here on Tuesdays. Let's move on to law number 2. And for fact's sake, Troy, I do not have that timer, just so we clear. So, law number 2, the law of vibration. This is the data scrape, the law of vibration. Everything in the universe vibrates at a certain frequency. And I guess I should say this too. Even from law number 1 from the data scrape, I do agree. The law of divine oneness, it actually is a law. Like, there is no disconnect. We have mastered individuality. We have mastered patterns because we were taught when we were children. Circles go with circles, squares go with square. We even had toys that reinforced it, and we've had reinforced behavior to where we must fracture things out and parse them out in our minds for our daily living sake, because this is the world we've created and this is the way we live. Yet and still, at the core of it, you and I are not separated. We are directly, completely one. And the sooner we start treating each other like we are one, oh my God, the better it's going to get around here, the better it's going to get. So, law number 2, the law of vibration. Everything in the universe vibrates at a certain frequency. And what came to mind too, y'all, when I was thinking of the data scrape, when we mentioned a little bit about it, consider the phone calls, like the cell phones, and consider your body. Even in your breathing, for those of us who practice breathing, you can feel that energy, you can feel that vibration. Okay? And it is a beautiful thing, right? And then for those of us who like tactile things, there's nothing like the humming of an engine, hand on the car and just rev. There's nothing like it. There's nothing like laughing so hard. Okay, so you're dealing with vibration. There's nothing like the sound of someone you love. Again, you're dealing with vibration. And I agree. Definitely a law, definitely present, definitely something to be explored. And it is and is. Y'all hear me say that a lot. It is and is, okay? Explore it, understand it, vibration, and not just vibrations. Understand frequency too. Understand the vibration that you carry when you walk through life and around the people you walk around. Perfect case and example, Mondays, when people are having all these stressful heart attacks because they don't want to go into the office. They're absolutely freaking dreading it. Well, what are they dreading? They're dreading the stress. They're dreading the boss. They're dreading the angry people and all the scratchy things that come with it. Okay. Same time. What about you? What are you carrying? What do you carry with you when you walk? Are you walking around with an RBF? Are you frowning all freaking day long? Okay. You are emitting a vibration. Same way you walk in a room, you be like, oh, I don't want to be in here. I am not going in. Vibration. See a face you love. Oh my God, I gotta hug you. Oh, I feel so warm. There's so much energy. There's so much movement. vibration. So it's on point. But let me give you the grown folks. Law number 2, the ancestor, speaking. Law number 2 is the law of forming and making. And again, that coupling, law number 1 being creation, law number 2 being the law of forming or making, hand in hand, y'all. Hand in hand. And you know how when you build, you are literally building bit by bit, like brick by brick. Okay. And that's one thing I can tell you. It's fun. Like I said, using all these AIs or scraping thought or even interviewing folks. That's fine and good. But you better go talk to an adult and get some wisdom. And you better get to researching for yourself and get some wisdom and then work it through to understanding. So I'm not going to labor too hard in the forming or making. That is almost, I'm going to say self-explanatory, but there's more that is opened up to the mind and to the experience when you do what? Meditate, sit and meditate in it. About that. So that's something I will encourage you to do. Okay. Sit and meditate in that and get your understanding and then put it to work. All of this is for growth. All of it is for you to get a plan. I don't know where you at right now in your mind. I don't know where you right now are in your life or in your profession, stuck, unstuck, flowing, moving, thinking, maybe wanting to create something new. And this is definitely, these are steps. These are your building principles. I said 3. Law number 3 is the law of correspondence. This is one of my favorite laws. This is in the order of the data scrape, also to understand that. And we're going to talk about it, and then we'll talk about the grown folk law number 3. Y'all, this one is so important. I think we got to touch this. Law number 3, the law of correspondence. As above, so below. As within, so without. Okay? And I don't know. I believe in self-check-ins. Like I believe in doing me inventory. I do inventory in the house of Melikia. What's going on here? And then I'm looking, okay, if this is going on inside me, as above, so below. As within, so without. If I am engaging someone in a negative fashion, because I've been guilty of that a few times. I'll tell nobody but God. Anyway, I really have to sit back and understand what's going on inside. Okay, why you mad? What you mad for? Princessa? And work through my mind. What are those thoughts that I have received? Either that they were thought toward me and I took them and I kept them as mine. Now I'm rehearsing them and making them so. Or what am I thinking? What am I creating? What am I emitting into the universe around me and creating above me? Because that's above, so below. If it's happening in your mind, it's happening in your heart and in your body. If it's happening in your mind, it's happening in the world around you and all the people you affect, that you lead, that you guide, that you interact with, or you pissed off, or you road rage, or you friendly, or you encourage, or high vibe. Okay, it is occurring. It is occurrence. As within, so without. If you took time and really built in a practice of affirmations, a practice of love, a practice of peace, y'all. I don't know about you, but I love peace. I'm a super fan of peace. So I practice peace. I make sure that I am ingesting peace. Watch some peaceful things, learning, take time to meditate. I love the water. I'll be in the water as often as I can. These are the things that I am building within me, so that when I'm walking away from that water or walking away from whatever and moving about my day, I am still carrying it, because as within, so without. And when you encounter me, what am I giving you, right? It's always an exchange. We're exchanging, even if we don't exchange words, we're still exchanging energy in our presence. And even now, you can see me, I can't see you, but we are exchanging energy even right now. So it is important, especially if I'm gonna take a microphone and come talk to people, definitely gotta make sure that what's inside me is healthy, that it's well constructed, and that there's enough to share. That's so important. And again, I teach lecture style. So what applies to you. Let it apply. Don't apply to you, it'll apply later. Just keep it in your notes. All right. Grown folks law number 3. Again, when I told you about the what my grandmother gave to me, it really is line upon line, and it's brick upon brick, and you're building. Law of creation, the law of forming and making, and the law of bringing forth. And that one kind of aligns a little bit with what we were sharing, the as above, so below, because you are bringing forth. It is a law. So I kind of think, and that one, they kind of met like line by line. So that's even water, my opinion. And it is worth sitting in. Now, of course, you have all kinds of thought leaders who go deep into that on YouTube University. And you can explore it deeper on your own if you so choose. I encourage you to. I really, really do. And I'm going to say this to the grown up. Hey, grown up, whenever we hit the 30 mark, give me a thumbs up. Let me know. Okay. Law number 4. Oh, wait, no. Let's go back to 3 real quick over here. So something I want to share. Okay, we did. So yeah, I already shared it, as I shared it with the as above, so below, because I feel that's the same energy, and that's where that meets. So the law of bringing forth, the law of correspondence. And you know what? Let's take a minute, because this is again, it flowers out, right? There's there is many ways to receive it, right? It's not just a linear thing. Folks want to go A through Z a lot of times, and by pushing so hard from A to Z, you're missing all the subsets, right? So go slow, drive slow, and take time and understand it. Correspondence. We call it networking a lot today, right? We do a lot of networking, and then we have our friends that we speak to, but I don't know how well or not well you are about corresponding with your friends. But I'm going to encourage you, even in this moment. I have a lot of strong friends. Do a lot of amazing things, help a whole lot of people. Great. What I find consistently with my strong friends is they need checking on too, right? So I encourage you, for those who have those strong friends, check on your strong friends and just, correspond with them. I believe in breaking out a snail mail and throw a stamp on it, and hey, here's a card, thank you, or I'm thinking about you and I love you. Break out that text message, break out them quick videos, Snapchats, whatever, and communicate. So that's just a side on the main dish, I'll say it like that. So consider incorporating that as you work forward in life. Okay, now we're going to really move to 4. The law of attraction. Folks done wrote a whole book about this right here. Like attracts like. Your thoughts and beliefs attract corresponding experiences into your life. One more again. Law of attraction. That's number 4 on the data scrape. Like attracts like. Your thoughts and beliefs attract corresponding experiences to your life. Ooh-wee. And the other one is so very different. So let's touch on this for a minute. I don't know, so I won't assume. I will simply say, okay, I will say yes. I fully agree with this. Like does attract like, and at the same time, opposites attract too. So there is some duality here, okay, and that truth. So that is to be considered and explored. 1. Also, I'm thinking of the simplest way to say it. The simplest way to say, or give an example for this, would be if I walk into a room and I start clapping my hands really loud and say, hey, everybody, happy birthday, and start singing happy birthday, what's going to happen? There's going to be somebody in that room who's going to join me. And I believe in the meow, 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 meow. So if I start meowing at folks in a happy birthday tune, somebody is going to join me, because like attract like. Everybody in the room, maybe not, but like attracts like. Somebody who is fun-loving, charismatic, silly, want to have some fun and encourage people, they will be drawn to that. That's the simplest example I can offer you of like attracts like. Very, very simple. In the same manner, I find that people who carry a certain morose about them, people who carry sadness and trauma. You see a lot of trauma bonding, and that's how you'll see it on the opposite end of the coin. A lot of folks who get together to really bemoan their experiences and life and folks in their life. Okay. And where there is one, there is two, and where there is two, there's seven, and where there's seven, there's 100. And it's needed in some cases, support groups, okay? Or you just need to breathe and vent and share some of the weight of what you're carrying. Fair. However, if that is consistently your vibration, and you look around and you find that you got a whole bunch of low energy, sad and depressed people surrounding you that you have no one to reach to that's higher, okay, that has a higher breath, a higher understanding than you, ooh, that's called unfortunate. That's called unfortunate. So law number 4, that is great, is the law of attraction. And we're going to get to law number 4 from the grown-up list in a minute, and that's going to take a second. So I'm going to pause for a station break. Hello, adult. Here you go.
Hello. Oh my goodness. Good stuff. I'm loving what you're sharing. Good evening, everyone. The Blast Artist Spotlight tonight is my homeboy, Chris White. And this song is called Every Day. Check it out.
15, age 15. The Ferguson verdict got a lot of my white friends uptight, like they stayed up late watching Roots last night. I'm like, chill, man, I can't blame y'all for one flawed individual who made a bad call. I'd be just as guilty as them if I stereotype. Straight up, if you ain't black, you can't carry my plight. I don't expect that. Sympathy or empathy just filling me and giving me my space, I can respect that. When children get murdered who look just like me, then the killers go free consistently, we gotta check that. Shooting, robbing, and looting is not the movement or solution. Tearing down our own community, truly it's just a setback. But I can't just sit back and say nothing while my people struggle. God anointed me to protect that within my spirit influence. There are some pains you just can't explain unless you've been through it. Sensitive to the offensiveness relative to Ferguson, familiar I can relate cause I'm kin to it. That's why I keep it real, no pretend music. Politically incorrect, thick skin music. So believe me when I tell you that I know how you feel when vengeance is the Lord's but you still want revenge. Like put me in the ring with that cow with no gun. Hands up, Shawn Michaels, I got him, sweet chin music. With my everyday, with my everyday, yeah, I wanna give you the highest praise. Age 15, Fordham Ave, just leaving the lab. It's raining cats and dogs, so umbrella I grab. My man Owen bought me Burger King and cover the tab. Back to Patterson, I hop in the cab. We rolling out, then out of nowhere, cop cars and the blue lights flash. I'm like, somebody must have done something bad. Then they pull the cab over, so it's getting realer. I'm like, this driver must be some type of drug dealer. Then they get me out the car and they search me. Illegally, I might add, it really irked me. Trying to get a reaction, speaking harshly. It's like 10 of them jokers would've murked me. With my hands on the hood, I just looked in their eyes like, why this man got his hands in my fries? I didn't do nothing, temperature rising like Mob Deep. But I thank God for building me with that cool button. Now maybe you've never experienced that. Like we don't cause trouble, we don't bother nobody, we're just black. That happened years ago, but it's sad to say, cause still this type of stuff happens every day, okay? But hey, hey, my everyday, with my everyday, with my everyday, yeah, I wanna give you the highest praise. Will they reminisce over you? Will they reminisce over you, my God? Will they reminisce over you? I wonder, will they reminisce over you? Will they reminisce over you? Will they reminisce over you, my God? Will they reminisce over you? I wonder, will they reminisce over you? With my everyday, with my everyday, with my everyday, yeah. Come on, yeah. praise. Now let me see that smile, baby boy, let me see that smile. Now let me see that smile, baby girl, let me see that smile. Let me see that smile, grandpa, let me see that smile. Yeah, let me see that smile, grandma, let me see that smile.
Yes, indeed. And that was Chris White with Everyday. And if you are an independent artist or a spoken word poet or an up and coming comedian looking for some exposure, you can go to blastmusic247.com and register for free. The Blast is also looking for the fans of music. So if you would like to have access to hundreds and hundreds of independent music, you can go to blastmusic247.com, register as an unlimited fan, and have access to that great music. Blast. We're constantly changing the industry, one artist at a time. All right, Ms. Melikia, back to you.
Thank you. I appreciate you. And that was a fun song. The lyrics, there was a lot in the lyrics, and they following the laws too. And when he got to the favorite lines in the song that belong to somebody else but must be repeated, will they reminisce over you? And that's a thought. That was a strong thought. So I appreciate you. I love music. I appreciate the artist. And I did see some questions that popped up in the chat. I'm giggling because that's what I learned today. I found a chat, y'all. I found it. Okay, great. So let me address this. If these are laws, does that mean that there are consequences? Yes. If they're not followed. Does it mean they are enforced in some way? And then there was a secondary. I'm going to read that part too. If yes, what are some of the consequences and who is in control of that? God, you, or the world? Short version, yeah. Like these are laws. These are laws, and if they are not followed, yes, there's consequences. Does it mean that they're enforced? Yes. How is it enforced? Let's go from backwards. That makes sense to me. When we look at simple stuff, babies like to jump the bed, right? I have babies who love jumping in bed. I don't know why. Probably because their mama did. Don't tell. Okay, great. And no respect for the edge. None. Hey, baby, move over. You're going to fall off the bed. You're going to hurt yourself if you do. Hey, baby. Okay. But, well, they just learned a lesson. Okay. There's laws in place. Gravity is right there waiting on you to pull it. All right. In the same sense, let's take it more seriously. You don't get to walk on a plane and start yelling bomb. You just don't get to do it. You don't get to do it in the movie theater. You don't get to do it in the church. You don't get to just grab a gun and walk up in churches and have no consequences. There are laws in place. If you move into the law of creation, how is that? How do the consequences show up? Like this. If you are not creating for yourself, someone else is drawing your energy and creating for themselves. Do you understand that? Might not understand it, right? But think about it. We are walking batteries. That is just the case. We are electrical. We have energy, and we are the plug, right? And I love that they started, making that culture trending and because we are the plug, dude. Folks, plug into us. What is the consequence of letting too many people plug in? Drain, stress, frustration, disappointment, not having enough energy to do what you need to do, or the right people plugging into you to pour into you. Oh my God, soaring, transition, ascension, learning, growth, degrees, impact, effect, world changing. So it does matter, and it does come with consequences, forming or making. We're constantly forming and we're constantly making. We form, and I wasn't going to even get into all this, but here we go. We form, let's take body. Body's very simple to see. Hey, Sorez. Body, we're forming daily by what we think and ingest, right? With food, what we eat. Okay? Every day you're forming. You may not see it initially when you eat that whole bag of cookies the first time, right? But keep doing it. Keep on. My mama used to say, keep on if you want to, keep on. and you will see, because it's true. Next thing you know, your pants don't fit no more. So there are simple, and these are the kind and simple examples that we may not pay attention to. I'm only here to remind you. Okay, these are things that we know. I'm only here to remind you. So please take my words as reminders. And then who enforces those consequences? The first person to enforce the consequences of thought is you. You. Okay? You judge how you do a thing. Oh, I did this well. Oh man, I suck. Didn't do that so well. Right? And then those people who beat themselves up regularly, you are the enforcer of your thoughts. Here we go, a really huge one. People make promises. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this. And then when they don't keep it, they don't do those things that are specifically for themselves. I'm going to have some self-care. I'm going to do my nails. I'm going to take care of my this or that, blah, blah, blah. And they don't do it. I'm going to write a book for those y'all. And don't do it and keep putting it off. Well, you are teaching yourself to not believe you. And then what you'll find is the people in your life don't believe you neither, because you don't keep your word. You don't keep your word to yourself. So how you gonna keep your word to everybody else? And here's the great part. And this is directly to my doers. Like, how do we say this? Some folks will do a thing to get it done, just to get it done. There is no true essence of excellence in it. There is no drawing on the divine inside to create something that impacts, that is lasting or makes a difference or completes. Okay? When you deny yourself completion in thought that moves into action, right? That moves into the physical manifestation of whatever it is you're working on, you're disappointing you. So you get those consequences in your body. Oh my God, when the shame sets up in the body, or when the disappointment sets up in the heart, or in your blood, or in your liver, man, you got a whole new situation on your hands. And that is something that I don't know that we take time to understand. That's why I wanted to talk about the laws, because some of us are operating outside of the laws, catching these consequences and don't know why. Like, why is this so freaking hard? Why am I in pain all day? Why is my mind tired? Why are so many thoughts playing helicopter in my brain? Why do I have fog? A lot of the things that we're doing, we're working against or outside of the law and experiencing those consequences until we stop and move back into clear view, okay, of what we need to be doing. And let's clarify need. What you need to be doing is what you choose to do. All right. I'll let you sit with that one. Law number 4 on the grown folks list. Now, this one I really enjoy. And it's law number 4 on the grown folks list is law of darkness. So many people flee from the darkness. And there's such a connotation that's added, even down to calling melanated folks black, right? We know the games that folks want to play. Like, we've taken it and we've owned the word itself, and I'm okay with that as it relates to darkness. Okay? It is a beautiful thing to be still, to be quiet, to be at none, at nil, beneath the zero, in that beautiful void of darkness. There's quiet. And you know what else is there? And people don't want to talk about it because there's so much freaking power in this melanin. Start there, but there's so much power in darkness. Am I saying go do some negative trash? Nah, that's not what we're saying here. Am I saying go play with what folks call Satan, Hasatan? No, not encouraging you to do that, but I am encouraging you to turn off all the lights. Get the freaking cell phone away from you. Turn your computer off. And be still in the darkness. And let your body repair. The law of darkness has so much in it. Oh my God, you really got to sit down and meditate on that. Ask Spirit, Ancestor, Christ principle to show you, lead you into the understanding of what it means to operate, to use that law of darkness for your benefit. there's such benefit. There's such benefit in that stillness. Because if you notice, when all this stuff is off, you can't see, so you're not up to distraction, you're not up trying to do stuff. What you're meeting is your mind. So once you've stopped all the distractions, including the light, even the light bulbs, I can see them flicker, so it truly is annoying for me. But when everything ceases to move and ceases to be anything other than still, there is renewing, there is strength, there is peace, there is power, and it ties right back to law number one, the law of creation. You can create in that space, y'all. And for those who haven't mastered their mind, haven't mastered quieting those thoughts yet, it's a little bit harder, and I get that, I understand it, but it's still accessible and it's doable. So don't offer yourself an excuse. Like, do not write you out of the building. I can't do it. Oh yeah, you can. If you take time and put the work in, you can have it. Okay. Also a law, the reciprocity. We won't get to that yet. But these are things that I'm checking my time. I wanted to make sure that we sat and talked about, like, it's the we must take it seriously. We must take understanding the law seriously, as serious as we take Christianity, as they take the 10 Commandments, okay? Or as lawyers go take the bar so that they can do their work and defend or prosecute, okay? As serious as the police officers take it when they see some other folks and want to harass them. Like, seriously, though. We must take it just that serious in order to move through life in a way that is conducive and beneficial and desired, because we don't want to leave ourselves out, right? It's important. So get to learn these laws. I'm going to give a quick recap for those who popped in. Good evening. We're going to read from the data scrape first. Law number one, the law of divine oneness. Everything in the universe is connected and part of a single whole. I want to share a story about that. We'll come back. The law of vibration. Everything in the universe vibrates at a certain frequency. Law number three, the law of correspondence. As above, so below. As within, so without. Law number four, the law of attraction. Like attracts like. Your thoughts and belief attract corresponding experiences into your life. Corresponding experiences into your life. Your thoughts and your beliefs, I promise you, they do. I'm going to read this real quick and I'm coming back to that thought. Law number one on the grown folks list. Law of creation. 2, law of forming or making. 3, the law of bringing forth. And 4, the law of darkness. And I'm sharing no more off my list. You're going to have to come get this love in person or in our class, in master class. Okay, back to what I said I was going to share. Your thoughts and belief attract corresponding experiences into your life. You know why? Because they're settled in your body and they're kicking off that vibration that we talked about. So it can't help it. And as above, so below, as within, so without. Because I held it within, I got to see it manifested without. How do I know? Let me get you with this example. So I had an issue with a nice ossifer up at Union Station in Chicago. And it was awful and it was traumatic. And it was, one of those moments where you think you're going to be getting a t-shirt because somebody's a racist punk and wanted to throw around his, I almost said something really bad, his badge authority. Okay, great. So that thing set on my heart. It was in my body. I dealt with it. Had great coaches around me. Even like literally I did my work because I don't play about that. I did my work. And months later, like literally moved on, started companies, started doing this, started helping people who've dealt with same traumas. I'm about that life, okay? So I know that I cleared away that heavy, right? The heaviness, but I promise you, there had to be a thread left in me because so within, so without, right? How about months later? I don't know, maybe even a year later almost. I'm in a whole different state down in Atlanta. And be darned if these 2 freaking police officers, men, did not come banging on the door. And I was, I guess I should have mentioned this too, when I was in the bathroom when that happened in Chicago. And I was in the bathroom when they started banging on the door. when I was in Atlanta. Is that not crazy? Crazy. Okay. And that let me know that I had still a thread to address. I still had something in me that needed to be addressed, because I had moved on. Like, I did my work. I went to processing. I got to writing. I got to praying. I got to meditating. I went in the spirit and started clearing it out, because I was not going to sit there and let that thing rest in me and interrupt my energy, my electricity. I'm not giving up life for this, right? Fast forward, that occurs. Well, guess what I had to do? Get the rest. I had to get the rest out. And then, of course, you're gonna get those tests. You're gonna get a prove it test behind it, right? Had to go and deal with something, and it took me into a police station. And when I mean, they were all over the place, they were everywhere, and I felt fine. All right. So it is work sometimes, and that's okay too. Do the work. You're not gonna die. I promise. It's gonna be all right. So those were the I want to share that from that one, and then also back up to the law of divine oneness. Everything in the universe is connected and part of a single whole. I believe that's deeply. Had an experience. So twice a year, I run with my partner, Dallas Cohen, who's freaking amazing, sanctuary experience for the women in Florida. And this one particular weekend, it was amazing, y'all. It was exhausting, because I served, gave a whole heart, left everything on the floor. And so did Dallas. And the women were moved and impacted, and working on their self-healing. It was amaze balls. Okay, great. The following weekend, because I know that as a teacher and a guide, I better be on my P's and Q's. I have my personal development daily and scheduled, because I'm not playing about this growth thing. So don't you play about it either. Weekend after that, after we served 3 days for the women, I had a 3-day personal development, and it was great. Now, I can say that a lot of what they were teaching is stuff that I already taught. So I'm like, okay, but it still was wonderful to sit in the chair and hear the information as opposed to sit and teach it, right? It was great. So I love that part. And then we got to the last day. On the very last day, one of the last exercises of the event, we did a meditation, a guided meditation. It is wonderful to have a great guide. And honest to God, it's so good to have someone who cares guide you. Okay, great. As we're doing this meditation, it was wonderful because I heard a few words. I hear the water and the music a little bit. Next thing I know, I have an open vision pop up. It is just, and I'm like, whoa, eyes are closed, but it feels like my eyes are open and the world just opened up again. So I'm like, all right, now, mind you, I have those. So I know what it was. It wasn't like oh my God, what is this? It was like, oh, okay, this is what this is. Cool. Sure enough, what I saw was everything was just purely white. There was nothing. There was nothingness. It was literally everything was white. There was no definition. There was no separation, no wall or door to speak of. It just was there. Okay. Next thing I know, an image comes. The image was to my right and to my left. I could see that now I was positioned, maybe I would say to a wall. That gives you an idea, but nothing was behind me. It appeared to be a straight line. On the floor, there was like little dusty dirt over that side and little poop balls. It was very strange, a pile of poop. So I'm like, okay, that's odd. And there's an active like little dust clouds low to the floor. So I'm like, that's strange. Okay, look this way. I see a little the dust and the little stuff over there on that side too. Well, after a minute or so of just being able to take in what's going on, and there's also a giant square and a giant circle taped in the other side on the right corner. So I'm like, okay, what is all of this? And then so when I'm done looking at that, I center my gaze. Now, mind you, I can't see myself physically. I just know it's from the perspective of my eyes. What I see is a part of that nothingness that stepped forward, like a rectangle with like cloth maybe, right? Nothing still on it, but just a part of the whole stepped forward. And I recognized, though my eyes and my perspective was from my body, that was me. I was literally part of the whole, right? and just expressed. I am expressed in this gene body. I'm expressed in this personality. But I knew that was me. And as I welcomed myself, and it was beautiful, and it was light, and it was wonderful, I recognized that suddenly there were two anchoring silver, like fish hook pins, one on the left, one on the right of that cloth. And without hands, I took the left and I unhooked that left. When I did that, the things from this side cleared, and I understood that to be past and former experiences. That whole side cleared up. Unhooked the right side. Sure enough, same. All of those things just drew into my standing and where I was, and I was able to clear whatever was remaining in the spirit. Okay? It is important to remember. Hey, Mama Donna, how are you? Andre, what's going on, Andre, the producer? How are you? Thanks for joining. Y'all, it's important to remember we are a part of one another. Like literally, we affect one another. What I understood, even as a child, I got it. I was a representation of my mother. Wherever I went, she did not have to be standing there for me to know I was my mom. Right? We have our designations, and we do as we do in humanity, and it's fine. But do not lose sight of the truth. The law stands. There is no separation. I am you, you are me. We are one together. That's where we find ourselves in one breath, same blood. Okay, great. So that is, I believe that's my time. I want to be respectful. Oh, I got 2 minutes. Haha. So I'm going to quickly peek in the chat and make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, let me just say that I appreciate you guys taking time with me. I enjoyed sharing the grown folks law of creation and then also the data scrape law of creation. It's interesting to see what we've been able to progressively accomplish as a people. I'm proud of us and the innovations and the fun that we get into. At the same time, I insist you go create. I insist you sit in darkness and in peace and in silence with yourself and begin to experience yourself for yourself. I insist that you do something about your thought life. I insist that you take care of you and love on you, and then do that so well that you can't help but love on somebody else. You know, that is life, babe. That is it, love. You know, if not for love, for why? Every issue that ever arises has an anchor in that creation, right? That law number one, law of creation, which is based and hinged on love, y'all. Can't avoid that. So go have some fun. For my adventurers and my seekers and my Berean people, go on and research and find out for yourselves, and come on back and let me know what you find out, because I'm always interested in hearing the impact of words shared with y'all through this podcast. You have been watching Sanctuary Experience Metamorphosis 365. I am Melikia K, Courtney. I don't even know if I said that at the beginning, but my name all over this thing anyway. So pleased to meet you if it's your first time. And hey, y'all, if you're family already, thank you for hanging out and getting time in. Thank you again to Blast Music 247. Thank you again to Troy. Beat, you are amazing. Thank you again to Sunshine for the connection. I appreciate you. Y'all have a beautiful day, and please do like, share, comment, share, comment, and reach out to me, connect. If you would like to participate in my master classes, connect quickly. I have a master class coming up. Okay. Oh, I didn't mention on this weekend, we're set for the Sanctuary Experience for men. Men who know you need to be loved back to life. I can say it very simply. If you know you need to be loved back to life, connect with me for the men's event, for the women's event, and for coping skills. I do a lot. Come on, play with me, get this love. All right, y'all. Now let's see. I have to be a grown up and do this on my own. Do.